Johnny Murr here, and today we're going to be talking about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, this is a game I've yet to talk about, and I've reacted to and talked about it on multiple podcasts, but I've never actually done a video covering Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That's because I was waiting for a release date, and I was waiting for more details about the game. But as you guys probably know by now, it was at Gamescom, and it was shown off. There were hands-on demos. There was big theater presentations for it. We got a lot more details about the game. Plus, we got a release date, including some information about the game's release that definitely hasn't been controversial in the slightest. Absolutely not. No, it's been universally praised. So we're gonna talk about that. As you guys know, it was announced to be coming to PlayStation, and so we're going to talk about what that means for Xbox and just what's all going on with that whole situation. But for the most part, I just want to focus in on the game, cover some of the details, talk about how excited I am for the game, because I do genuinely think this game is going to be awesome. And so, yeah, if you guys love gaming, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, third-party, indie, consider subscribing, sharing with your friends. We love video games here, and we talk about it daily. I appreciate any support you guys give me, especially the support on this video right here. But let's get talking about Indiana Jones. Now, this is a game where I wasn't necessarily the most excited for it, just because I've never really been that big of an Indiana Jones fan. But when you get the Machine Games, when you get the Bethesda, you're like, okay, maybe I see what they're going for. A Bethesda Indiana Jones game, that could work. And leading up to it, we all thought it was going to be third person. We thought it was going to be the very like Uncharted-like game, Tomb Raider-esque, right? And it turns out to be first person. Now, when everybody saw this, everyone was like, this is weird. Indiana Jones should be third person. You want to be able to see Indiana Jones. And, well, I do get that, and it does feel weird that it's not third person. I kind of do like the fact that it is first person, because it is going to separate this game from the Uncharted and Tomb Raiders of the world, and I do think it's going to bring a unique, fresh take on the franchise and just the genre of what it's going for. And personally, when I did see this game, my excitement went way higher than I thought it was going to be, because, like I said, I wasn't really a big Indiana Jones fan. But when I saw the game, I saw the vision, I saw how fun it looked, and honestly, I was sold. And I've really been sold ever since, and it's been one of my most anticipated games ever since it was shown at the Xbox Developer Direct back in January. And yeah, ever since, we've been waiting to see more. We saw more at the Xbox Bethesda showcase. They did a whole little like cinematic trailer, like a whole funny segment on like an ice ship or whatnot. But then Gamescom, we did get a lot more information. That's kind of what we're going to be going off of here. And so, if you guys don't know what this game is going to be, it is a first person with some third person like shots, like when you're rope swinging, when you're climbing stuff, when you're, I don't know, riding vehicles, whatever. It's going to cut to third person, but for the most part, it is a first person action adventure game. We're going to be solving puzzles, doing action like hand-to-hand combat, shooting, whipping, of course. And so, yeah, it does seem like a really, really good Indiana Jones game. And that's my biggest compliment and biggest thing about this game of why I think it looks so good is it really is capturing the feeling and vibe of Indiana Jones. Like, just that little scene that they showed at Xbox Game Showcase, that was so Indiana Jones, and they did it to absolute perfection. Now, will the gameplay be the most engaging, most in-depth, complex systems ever? No, but that's not really what you're going into this game for, are you? Like, if you're going into this game to have the most insane gameplay you've ever felt, to experience the greatest story you've ever experienced, you're going in there for the wrong reasons. You want to go in there for a fun adventure with Indiana Jones that captures its spirit, and I feel like that's what they're going for, and I feel like that is what they're executing on, and I think they're hitting it on every cylinder. But let's get talking about some of the previews and details at Gamescom. And a lot of people have been saying you can feel the DNA of Chronicles of Riddick and the Wolfenstein games. Now, I love the Wolfenstein games. The Wolfensteins are really, really fun. And that's why I'm so on board with this game being first person and why I'm so on board with it being Machine Games, because the Wolfenstein games are so great, and I could see how this could translate. And then Chronicles of Riddick, I've never played. I'm not really familiar with it, but I have heard it's a phenomenal game. And I've heard that the inspiration behind this game and Chronicles of Riddick is immaculate. So I'm very curious about that one, but I can't really say much on that. They say, surprisingly, a bit like Hitman in stealth systems and the way levels are designed. Now, Hitman is one of the best stealth games to release, like, in the modern era. And so that's really good, especially for a game that's going to have stealth like this. I do imagine this is going to be a primary part of the game, being stealth. And this could be really good, but it could be really bad. I'm currently playing through a game right now that has really bad stealth, and that is Star Wars Outlaws, and that's my least favorite part of the game. But I feel like this is going to be a game where that is more fleshed out, and that is more of a focus, and a good focus, because Indiana Jones fits that, and I think they could do it really well. There are many mysterious locked chambers, complex ancient mechanisms, and ritualistic challenges to solve. Examples of puzzles: stealth section to find a golden medallion inside a Nazi base, unlocking a door that unexpectedly opens up a spike pit under your feet, reflecting multiple beams of light across a room to retrieve a mask. So a lot of different puzzles, a lot of different stealth, whatever, to get collectibles, do your adventure Indiana Jones stuff. I like to hear it. There is a linear storyline, but there are open areas which include side characters, hidden secrets, added rewards, and photo opportunities. To me, this sounds like, and I know it's a really weird comparison, but I just played it, Black Myth Wukong. It is a linear game, but every area is kind of open with different paths where you can go talk to some side characters, find new collectibles, and just get really cool environments. I feel like that's kind of what they're going for here, and if so, I'm absolutely down. One open area sees Indy in an Egyptian bazaar, passing through crowds and finding a stall which offers up a conversation with the owner and opportunity for a side quest. Very, very cool. I am curious, like, how the, I guess, RPG mechanics are going to be. I know this isn't an RPG game, really. It's more of an action-adventure game. But, you're going to be talking to NPCs. Is that going to be the skip, next, let me get through this, let me just get to the next thing? Or is this actually going to feel important? Is it going to feel like you can actually get some really interesting things out of it? That's always a question you have for games like this. These sections are packed with detail, quote unquote, and hidden passages, scattered documents, etc. that add context to the story. So that is really cool. The exploration, the world building that they're doing here, again, Black Myth Wukong is a game where a lot of its storytelling takes place through just the experience, through things you figure out, through things you just go through and find. This is a game that would work really, really well for it, for its adventure feeling, for its adventure setting. I think that could be really, really cool, and it is packed with detail according to them, so that is really good to hear. You'll be able to revisit these areas once you've unlocked them and return to find more at a later time. That is awesome. The whip. So now we're going to be talking about some of the gameplay here. The whip, useful combat tool, can drag onrushing Nazis in a fight and also used to grab objects in environments, smash them, swing them, or use as a climbing rope. So obviously the whip is like the most iconic Indiana Jones weapon, outside of his fist, of course. But this is the thing I'm personally looking most forward to. Like, how is the whip gonna work? And they said you could use it for combat. You can use it for like mobility, kind of like in terms of enemies. You can pull them, swing them side to side. You can use it as actual traversal as well, with as a climbing rope. So that's really cool. Being able to swing from ledge to ledge, I'm guessing. And you can use it to grab objects in the environment. That will be really, really cool. I'm very curious how that is going to actually play out. The whip does seem like it could be something that ends up being a little bit janky and a little, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right type of thing. Which I hope it's not. From what we've seen, it doesn't look like, it looks pretty good. But the whip can definitely be something like that, and I just hope it isn't. The camera. Indy packs a film camera that players can use to take pictures of their adventure for adventure points. It also helps offering pointers for puzzles and deepening the story. So this is what I heard in a podcast and just other videos, is that the camera is going to play a big part of this. Taking pictures of different artifacts and just areas gets you points and can help fill out the story and give you help or aid on puzzles. So this could be a really good thing, or it could be a really bad thing. If it is like those every game adventure like side things where you just get like lore, doesn't really have any effect on like the major story details or puzzles or really anything, kind of like Nathan Drake's Notebook in a way, then this isn't really going to be all that exciting. It's going to be like, whatever, just get over with it. But if this really could add to your exploration, it could really makes you feel like you're really an explorer, like you're really an adventurer, admiring all these things, and you get huge benefits out of it. It could be really good, and it could be really exciting. And then, of course, as I was just saying, there is a journal in this game. It acts as sort of a de facto hint system with Indy's own notes helping to guide you. Discoveries, documents, photos, physical maps you find in the game world are also stored there. So that sounds more like what you would get out of your typical action-adventure game, like with Nathan Drake's Notebook. But then we also have the camera. I do think the camera could be a really interesting thing. Indy also first we have the lighter. Can help illuminate dark places or maybe ward off some snakes. That sounds so Indiana Jones, and I absolutely love it. Just things like that just are very exciting. Indy also uses other tools throughout the world, like picking up a spear to throw into a wall that acts as a swinging point, breakable bottles to distract enemies, hammers to use in combat, and etc. We did see some of this in the trailer. He picks up like a little mallet and throws it at like the head of some dude. Really, really cool. Skills. There are dozens to unlock, but not through a traditional skill tree. You'll find skill books hidden in the world, each of which open up the ability to unlock a new skill. This is what I really like here. While I love skill trees, I think skill trees are really cool and really fun. They just never get old. I love when progression is different, unique, and it actually adds to your experience. If what we've been talking about, the camera, the journal, the open areas, and the linear storytelling, but like open areas, and the conversating with NPCs being, important. If that all translates to progressing through the game, having progression with Indy, of course, this could be big. Instead of a still tree, you're doing all these things during your adventure to gain new abilities and to gain new things to engage with the combat and the gameplay with. That is what excites me. I love when games really take you on a journey, really feels like an experience rather than just complete this level, move on, complete this level, move on. It really feels like this is like a whole new chapter of the game. I'm unlocking so much more. I can't wait to see where we go next. I want to do more to evolve. That is what I love. And I think from what I hear about this with the skills, I think I'm very excited for that. You can unlock a skill through earning and spending adventure points, which get you by making discoveries, taking photos, etc. Like I just said, all these things that we're doing that in other games kind of just feels like lore, feels like whatever a lot of people skip out on, are going to be major parts of improving your character and improving the gameplay. And I love that. One skill book teaches Indy true grit, for example, which lets him take a fatal blow in a fight, but then retrieve his hat, dust himself off, and keep fighting. I absolutely love this. This is Indiana Jones at the finest. That I could just see, just listening to that description of what this ability does, I could just see it in an Indiana Jones movie. He gets knocked down, but instead of dying and having to restart, you use your ability, True Grit. He grabs his hat, he dusts it off, and he keeps fighting. I absolutely love that. That is straight out of the movies, and that is why. That is one of my most excited things about this game. It's just experiencing basically an Indiana Jones movie, but in interactive video game form. And I'm here for it. Disguises. Throughout the game, opportunities arise where Indy can change into different sets of clothes to blend in and enter forbidden areas. Very cool, very stealth, very classic stuff. So, as a machine games game, it's a very action-heavy game, but they did say that in this game, it is not centered around combat like past Machine Games titles, but gives you many ways to defend yourself. So I do believe this is going to be more of a, kind of Dishonored type approach, which, even then, I'm absolutely down. And honestly, with an Indiana Jones game, I don't expect it to be full-on action-packed like Wolfenstein. I do imagine this is going to be a different approach to a Machine Games title, which is a little bit cautious. I am a little bit cautious about that, just because you never really want to take the DNA of a studio away. But I'm absolutely fully like promoting studios to taking different approaches, getting creative, trying new things. And so from what I've seen, it seems like they're confident in this, so I'm absolutely all for it. The UI is very light for true immersion. In a fight, fist fighting is a mix of punches, dodges, grabs, pushes, blocks, and parries, with the aim of breaking down an enemy's defense until you can deliver a custom finisher. All that sounds absolutely awesome, and I do love the fact that a UI is light. I don't like really crowded UIs. I like it very simplistic. You can also use the whip to create more space in a fight or use environmental elements to finish enemies off quicker. For tougher fights, Indy also has his revolver to finish off a threat quickly, though ammo is limited, as well as temporarily grab enemy weapons like a machine gun. So that's all the details I have right now. And like I said earlier, do I expect this to be the most insane gameplay game? No. Do I expect this to have the greatest story of all time? No. Do I expect this to be the most visually stunning game of the year? No. Do I expect it to have a masterpiece of an OST? No. Do I expect this to be a 50-hour, difficult experience? No. But do I expect this to be a really fun, really high-quality Indiana Jones video game? Yes. And from everything I've seen, from everything I've heard, that's exactly what it sounds like. Now, when I say best, like I just said, do I expect to be the best of all these things? No. But that doesn't mean it can't be phenomenal. And that is what I'm very much looking forward to, because from what I've seen, I do think this will be a very, very good game. And I'm just excited. It is releasing on December 6th or 9th, I do believe. One of those two. But the big thing here is that they did announce that it will be coming to PlayStation 5 in spring, meaning that this is now a timed exclusive Xbox game. Now, I'm going to make a full-on video about what this means for Xbox and where we're going for it. But this does raise a lot of questions about the brand and just the game. And I don't think this ruins the game at all, personally. To me, more people get to play it. I like it. I just wish the communication and the unveiling of this was a lot smoother, because now we do have like three different Bethesda titles that have had three completely different strategies. One is a time exclusive, being Indiana Jones. One is a day one multi-platform release like Doom, The Dark Ages. And one is currently an Xbox exclusive, being Starfield. So I just wish there is more of a fine line of how we're actually doing this. And then, yeah, there are like a little bit of questions like, will it run better on a supposed PS5 Pro rather than the Xbox Series X, which would then make an incentive to play it on PlayStation instead of Xbox, because as you guys know, Xbox now owns Bethesda. This is an Xbox game. This is an Xbox-owned game, whether you want to admit it or not. It is an Xbox game, and a lot of people were banking on this to be one of the big Xbox exclusives of the generation, one of the big hits for Xbox. Granted, it's still in Game Pass day one, which is where I'm going to be playing it, but there are still a lot of questions. I'm going to go deeper into that in the other video that I'm going to be making. But this is about the game. All you need to know is I'm excited for the game. I do think it looks really, really good. Let me know in the comments, what are your hype levels for the game? What are you most excited about? Let me know if you're even going to play it. And thank you all so much for watching the video. If you like the video, consider subscribing and share with your friends. I appreciate any support you guys give me. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.